Well, hey everybody. Did you get your taxes filed today? I did. I may have owed a few $1,000s, but I paid it. And the uncertainty of not knowing how much I owed is over. And it's been done. So it means it's time to party. And what do we do when we party here on a random Monday? We talk about baseball. So let's go over the MLB algorithm. I've had a busy day of people asking me about baseball. So let's go over it. I'm sending out a new email. Even though I sent one this morning, I did update the lineup, so I figured we'd talk about it. So also, you're going to see what I actually bet on today. This is something I'll start doing here. I'm doing the baseball algorithm from now through the end of April. And then I stop doing daily emails and I stop updating it daily. But you can update it. You can purchase a copy of this. You can get the emails from me every day from now through April 30th. Learn how it works, learn how to update it with RotoWire stats, and be on your merry way to do whatever you want to do with it. But in the meantime, while I'm still paying attention to it, I will make some wagers. Bills are paid. May as well have some fun with some money that's left over. So let's talk about that today. First of all, when you're looking at the snapshot um, of the teams in order here in the day pivot sheet, you're going to get the teams that it favors the most up on top, and the margin is how much of a lopsided matchup the game is. So, number one pick of the day is Atlanta over Houston. And the reason for that is that Houston's pitcher here in 2024, this guy, Spencer Arrighetti has an ERA of 21. He must have gotten hit up for uh, uh, 7 runs in the 3 innings that he pitched so far this year. That's, of course, a bit distorted, but you can't argue with how bad his first start was. And so that's really pushing things in favor of Atlanta. It's predicting Atlanta puts up a ton of runs because it's using this ERA. Now, if you changed his ERA and gave him something more reasonable, like an ERA of 7 or something, you can see that all the scores change. Even scores in other games change. And so it's not a terrible idea to adjust this ERA to something more reasonable, but I didn't do that. I just left it as what it is for 2024 stats, and there you go. So you've got Atlanta supposedly crushing Houston and getting a lot of hits off their starting pitcher. You've got Kansas City up here with a huge margin, Cincinnati, the Yankees, Milwaukee, Baltimore, St. Louis over Oakland. But notice the line is not very good at minus 172 down here. Here's an underdog with Pittsburgh over the Mets. And then these other ones are just kind of lower on the margin list, which means they're closer games, including this Dodgers-Washington game. But that's because Washington has a pitcher that has not pitched yet this year. He's a AAA pitcher named Mitchell Parker, and he has a 0 ERA in the 4 innings he pitched in AAA this year. So this game's all distorted in stats, and you don't know what's going to happen with this pitcher down here. That's why it's putting the Dodgers a lot lower on this list than the odds makers, and it kind of makes sense because they're going up against a AAA pitcher. But if that AAA pitcher pitches great, then you got a game that could be a lot closer. So what did I do? Because I made a wager. Well, I know from designing these algorithms and just historically seeing what's an optimal way to play things, you want to play teams that the algorithm is kicking up as having a distorted matchup. It's teams at the top. When you run the macro with all the different combinations, you actually get this order over here is the average order. So I took 1, 2, 3. I didn't take Arizona, actually. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Took Baltimore too, because they're kind of up there on this combination in the combination 110 that we're using, combo string 110. And most of those teams are up at the top of the list here in the average. So this is the wager that I made. I decided to put 175 bucks on it. I'm playing the 4-team round robins of these 7 picks because their lines are pretty reasonable. In order for me to make money on this wager today, I'm going to have to go 5-2 or better. If we lose 3 games and you go 4-3, depending on which games they are, and we're going to we're going to test 3 of these losses right here. If we lose 3 games and we only go 4-3, which would be an average day, I'm going to lose about 61% of my wager and only be left with about $67 or $70 or whatever it is, depending on which teams lose. But if you can go 5-2 or better, it's going to be a winning day. You go 5-2, yep, you're going to double your money probably at about 5-2, about that. And then you start having a really excellent day, like 6-1. You know, you're winning almost 5-1 on your money. And if you have that amazing rare 7-0 day, then you make 12-1 on your money and walk out of there with, like 11 or 12-1 on your money. So I'll be happy with a 5-2 day or better. And of course, if you go 3-4, I lose everything here on this wager. So round robins are the kind of wager that you don't profit big time every day. It's oftentimes it's like once a week with something like the MLB file where you can really have a good day of like 6-1 or better. So we'll just hope that today is one of those days, but it's a longer term play where you do something like this every day for a couple weeks, and one of those days you do have a really big win and it pays for everything. But you have to stick with it. And if $175 is out of your budget, a lot of the apps you can reduce this to like $1 wager or something. Some of them are $5 minimums, but you can do something like this. $35 where you win 450 if you hit all 7, something like that. There's lots of that you can do. So that's what I decided to do today. And on these days when I actually do pay attention to this and set up a wager, I'll let you know what the round robin is that I wager, because I don't sit around and watch baseball all day, but I will throw in a wager before the games begin and then look at it at the end of the night and see if it's something that's, being profitable for the day. So for those of you who want to subscribe, you got a few weeks left here in April to get the file from me every day. And we lost a game early, it looks like, this Boston-Cleveland game, which was very close anyway. Although by the average margin, it was actually higher up. Looks like Boston got destroyed 6-0 too. So 11 a.m. on Patriots Day didn't work out for them. But teams that are down here in margin, do not expect these teams to win much more than 50% of the time, because they're supposed to be close games anyway. That's the whole point of ordering this list. And you should expect the teams that are up here, these teams, or these teams, when you're looking at the average, these 7 or 8 teams, that you should be winning 75% of those games. You really should. So when you see 7 teams right here, you should expect that 4-3 on a bad day, 5-2 on a normal day, 6-1 or better on good days. You see these types of 8 games here, you should expect about a 6-2 day. Between 5-3 and 6-2 should be about your average, the way that the algorithm works. And the amount of the margin also matters, meaning these 3 up here, Atlanta, Kansas City, Cincinnati, you're very rarely going to do worse than 2-1 on these days. Like very rare. Like it is, I would say 6 out of the 7 days of the week, you're probably going to go 2-1 or better on those top 3 teams. So keep that in mind as well. All right, that's the baseball update. Looks like NBA season ended and it's time to do some playoff scenarios. Hockey season is ending this week and it will be time to do the bracket. And then we got WNBA, I guess, coming up in a month. So that's the schedule. All right. Good luck, everyone. May our picks be winning. We'll see. I'm going to predict for this wager today. I mean, they should all win, right? I don't know why I'm predicting a non-win. I'm predicting today, I think Milwaukee's going to blow it. And I've had some terrible luck with the Orioles lately. For some reason, I think Kansas City is going to blow it to whoever they're playing. They're not playing the Mets. They're playing, who are they playing? Kansas City's playing the White Sox. Yeah, the game they should totally win because the White Sox are awful. So those are my gut instincts of the games that we're going to lose, but that would still be a winning day of $381. But that's what I think will happen. Of course, cross your fingers and hope for the big 7-0 day and the big payout, but we'll see what happens. So good luck, everyone. I hope you got your taxes done. It's a good feeling when they're finally done. And then you remember that you probably have state taxes that are also due. That's right. State taxes have not been done yet. So I still got to do that. But anyway, hope you got your taxes done, got them paid, moving on. It's a new year. It's a sport to enjoy watching if you like watching baseball. I don't, but you might. So I hope your picks are winning. Good luck.